I just want to start by saying I'm checking my privilege on today, and we spent 15 minutes of question and answers on a light for a Costco that is in Councillor Klein's ward, not Councillor Luke's. And also, you know, Councillor Luke spoke about governance and the fact she only had 10 minutes. Well, she had 27 or so. Meanwhile, I'm standing here. We've got members of the public that are here. We're paid to stand here. We're paid to talk. We're paid to listen. So to me, I think we need to talk about governance. Yeah. I think we need to flip this upside down, let the public speak before us. Anyways.
Move that motion, Councillor Nason.
You know what? I am on governance, so you know a couple of my colleagues here are as well. So perhaps we'll have that conversation later. Anyways, you know, I moved this motion at community committee. I did walk it on. I didn't give my colleagues much chance to listen to it. I know Councillor Brawadi spoke to it after it was moved. Listening to my colleagues, each and every one, I believe, that presented today, even the one unexpected, spoke to this motion. I think we all have one thing in common. Sorry. We want to do right by the people we serve. Oh, goodness me. But we all have different ways that we're looking at how we get there and who we're serving. I continue to think that what we've been observing, and as Councillor Klein said, since he's been elected, the challenges in our bus shop, our shacks, shelters. I struggle to call them shelters because then now they're going to be repurposed for another thing than what they were designed for. They are a reprieve from the elements while waiting for a transit bus to get from point A to point B to point C. You know, March 24th, 2021, I received correspondence back after raising concern to the CAO and to the Director of Transit. And the subject line was transit crisis, safety crisis. That was shortly after a knife incident had occurred at this bus stop involving a person that was occupying the space and a motorist in traffic, a knife. We've had, since then, a person that was occupying the space, the transit shelter, transit stop, in traffic, got hit by a car, and subsequently died. We have another person that was occupying the area that unfortunately fell, hit their head, and died. About 3 weeks ago, I was driving through the area personally, because I do drive through there just to see what's going on, because I hear from the public, I hear from the area businesses about the challenges in these two stops. I myself had to call 911 because I observed a person in a 60-kilometer-an-hour zone in lanes of traffic, albeit they were wearing a reflective vest, panhandling, in traffic, in a lane, not on the center median, not on the curb, in traffic, in a 60-kilometer-an-hour zone. How are we supporting these individuals by allowing this day in and day out to allow them to put themselves in harm's way? They were coming from downtown support agencies for the mass majority. Some of them are collectives where, hey, you know, one's connected and they bring a friend that they know from their experiences on the street. That's my understanding. But in the daytime, where can it go? You know, if they're leaving support shelters in the downtown area, why are they going to Kildonan Place Mall? Why are they going to St. Vital Mall? Why are they going to Polo Park? My understanding is they're going to those areas because products that they're seeking, hand sanitizer, mouthwash, hairspray, other more illicit drugs, alcohol, are available in those areas, particularly in the area near region where they're taking space. But they're going out there. And I know St. Boniface Street Links has been working hard for the last several years in those of us that are on the east of the red. Now we're seeing, I know myself, again, I drive through my community. I've seen Downtown Community Safety Partnership driving in Transcona. Again, Downtown Community Safety Partnership driving in Transcona. I've seen Main Street Project driving in Transcona. I haven't seen what Ray has with regards to their outreach coming to Transcona, but I suspect they'll probably be there at the challenge that we have. We had a fairly good approach when we had St. Boniface Street Links as the designated agency that was for east of the red. My understanding, and based on a report that was presented, is that in 2021 they were successful, if I understand everything correctly, in placing over 120 people that were either in encampments or homeless or suffering from mental health issues, to make sure that they were housed. 120. To me, that's a pretty good success rate. They're successful, and I believe Councillor Allard as chair, I believe either yourself or a member of your team have participated in some of these cleanups of encampments after they've been successfully vacated, cleaning up, restoring the environment along the riverbanks and in the parks. A lot of work goes into this. And yes, what I've proposed is aggressive. And all of you that are on this panel today, on this committee, you can check your email. Go back in your email to March 28, 2022 at 10:40 a.m. when I sent a submission to the CAO, including all of council, where I asked again for an update towards this situation. And if you can help me, I'll ask if you can find a response to that email. Because the way our email systems work, we have to move stuff offline. I have not been able to find an acknowledgement or response to what I sent directly to our CAO, Michael Jack. So the measures I'm asking for is to remove the glass, the benches, and the electrical system there. I call it the heating system, whatever it may be. It may heat the benches, it may keep the frost off the glass. I sometimes get confused on that. You know, and in preparation for today, I did look through some of what other areas are doing and some of the challenges they have. I wasn't quite able to find what I was looking for, but I am reminded of what we see in some of our restaurants now. I won't name them because, well, I would give them free advertising, but they have lean benches where you lean up against, and it basically is just a straight little thing, just to get your balance, take a little load off, a little pressure off your legs. But there's other opportunities, perhaps having benches at a more severe angle so that they can't be laid on. They can be sat on, but they cannot be laid on due to the angle that they're installed at. Don't know if that's another alternative that we can do. But what I do see, and I see regularly, is a lot of broken glass, a lot of broken shelters, including right out front of City Hall. Councillor Gilroy asked for my glass. Not my glass, but the glass that belongs to Winnipeg Transit for broken glass that she has in her shelters. Have at it. Because I know the one out front of City Hall here took several months to replace. I'll close quickly. Honestly, I'll listen to the members of the public and St. Boniface Street Links that are registered to hear what they have to say. I know I have some representation for some other motions as well. But I do appreciate your time, and it's not something I take lightly. We have to do better by those that are impoverished on our street. I know and I trust in the work that St. Boniface Street Links has put forward. I believe that their position on this is reluctantly in support. And I hope that you will also support it today. Thank you.
Councillor?
Thank you, Councillor Nason, through the chair to you. You're advocating only this one bus shelter be partially dismantled based on the activities that are taking place there?
Well, I will acknowledge and confirm that I also was advocating with regards to challenges that were being presented in front of the University of Winnipeg and right beside the CBC office, the CBC Manitoba office on Portage, which for several months had a blanket tent set up inside the shelter. And then in just days before catching on fire, had a tent established in that same shelter. Subsequent, that fire took out all the glass. And everything from that unit is now gone. Much the same as what, unfortunately, I'm prescribing or requesting today. The other part of the motion is to make sure that our operating agreement, just to further, is that our operating agreement for our transit loop to operate at Kildonan Place Mall is clear and everybody understands their responsibilities pertaining to it.
So you're referencing the bylaw 89 2014 with respect to safe usage or intended use of a bus shelter and adjacent property?
That would be something if there was an ability to apply punitive action, that would be something that would apply. In this case, maybe that's the tool that we use to move individuals along. You know, I know, again, understanding how St. Boniface Street Links has been approaching this is it's multiple attempts to inform the individuals that their behavior is unwarranted, that if they're making a mess, that they need to clean it up. I believe it's been relayed to me in the past that they come back, St. Boniface Street Links comes back, they inform them and say, we'll be back in half an hour. Here's the garbage bag. We want this cleaned up. But we shouldn't be at a situation where we have that. We should be, you know, finding alternative avenues, connecting them with the services. You know, again, you know, I want to reiterate the success that, as I understand, St. Boniface Street Links has had. Our colleague from Menarski is now seeking their support in Menarski to help in the North Point Douglas area.
So just to clarify then, your intent here is not punitive. It is about addressing safety.
That is the sole intent, is safety. And I'm hopeful that the less opportunity that they have to do harm there, the more opportunity we have for our support agencies to connect them with services. As it is, we give, as I understand, and I want to preface it, as I understand, we pick them up on Winnipeg Transit downtown and deliver them to this location.
Last question. You've mentioned a couple of times, and again through the chair to you, you've mentioned a couple of times specifically St. Boniface Street Links. Does Main Street Project also provide some assistance and resources to this location as well? And if so, how similar or dissimilar is that service provided?
I believe I mentioned it in my speaking notes, or my speaking. I didn't really have notes. I have a collection of papers. I know and I can state clearly on the record that Jacob Kaufman of Main Street Project provided public record in February to the East Kildonan Transcona Community Committee that he's a resident of Transcona, is well aware of the undertakings at this shelter of the individuals that are there. I've also indicated in my speaking that I've seen Main Street Project in Transcona supporting the individuals. I may not have said that explicitly, but yes, they are out there.
Okay, and I have one more question, but it's just evaded me. I'll pass it on to somebody else, but may have a follow-up.
Just, are you are aware that this matter is currently being considered at the Transit Advisory Committee?
I am not.
Okay. I would like to inform you in the form of a question that, well, in the form of, I guess I need to just let you know that we are considering at the Transit Advisory Committee this very question.
Okay, so if I may respond, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The fact that it's under consideration after this many years, when I know I've personally been asking for action for 2 years to the CAO, how much longer do we have to wait, sir?
Okay, thanks for the delegation.
I'm good.
Councillors? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next delegation is Sandra Hagenars, who's speaking with respect to report 6. Sandra is with us in the gallery today.